Hi, everyone. Welcome back. I hope you are super excited for week 2 of Ag Literacy with Kayla. This week's book, Who Grew My Soup? Written by Tom Darbyshire, illustrated by C.F. Payne. A boy of age 10 named Phineas Quinn was out playing ball when his mom called him in. "It's lunchtime," she said. "Here's something nutritious." This instantly made young Finn Quinn most suspicious. "It's yummy," she said, with a smile brightly beaming, as she gave him a bowl of soup gently steaming. Finn looked down and thought, "Yuck, it's vegetable gunk. The foods I prefer are the foods she calls junk. Fake colors and flavors, delicious and dandy. They're in all my favorite sodas and candy. Chemical additives? Yum, they're the best. The snack foods I crave are preserved and processed. I like stuff that's deep fried and loaded with sugars. But vegetable soup? Yikes, I'd rather eat boogers. This looks too healthy. I bet it tastes icky." So Finn hatched a plan, and oh boy, was it tricky. "I'll eat it," said Finn. "Yes, I'll happily do it, as soon as you're able to tell me. Who grew it?" "Like you always tell me," said Phineas Quinn. "Don't put that in your mouth. You don't know where it's been. These veggies might come from somewhere far off land, like Outer Mongolia or Distantistan. They might come from places like North Lost Mandu or Timbuktu Far or West Hinterloo. Who grew these carrots? Who grew these tomatoes, these beans, and this barley? This corn, these potatoes? Who sprouted this spinach? Who planted these peas? And who picked this celery? Tell me now, please. I'll not take one sip of this vegetable goop unless you tell me this. Who grew my soup? Well, Finn thought himself oh so terribly clever. He'd never have guessed what came next. Never, ever. His eyes popped, his jaw dropped. He fumbled his spoon. From the sky came a flying tomato balloon. The pilot in goggles was shouting "Hello!" from a rather large cooking pot hanging below. "Hop in, hurry up, climb aboard, tally-ho." "Where are we going?" Finn asked, most alarmed. "We're going," the man said, "to where soup is farmed. I'm Mr. Matu, Chief Soup Supervisor, and we won't come back until you're superwiser. Our trip won't take long, not at all, no indeed. This balloon can achieve supersonical speed." As soon as he said it, they flew away, zoom, with a whoosh and a whir and a big sonic boom. Finn summoned his courage. He took a look down and found they were already back on the ground. Finn, meet Farmer Hitchner. Hitchner, meet Finn. Mr. Hitchner's the farmer whose field we are in. These carrots, this field, and this farm all are his. Hitchner's a genius, a soup-growing whiz. "What carrots?" asked Finn as he looked all around. "They're down here," said Hitchner. "They grow underground." "They grow in the dirt?" Young Finn nearly gagged. "Gee, I've only seen them in stores, washed and bagged." Hitchner took hold of a green carrot top, turned and twisted and pulled it out, pop. The most beautiful carrot the world's ever known, more perfect than any that's ever been grown. "A superstar carrot," Matu said, "can't be beat. So here's an idea. I'll wash it, you eat it." Finn would rather get cooties, but being polite, he knew he had no choice. He must take a bite. So he tried just a nibble, the smallest of munches, and soon he was making great bunches of crunches. "Hey, this isn't bad. This carrot's incredible. It's sweet. What a treat. Say, this fruit is quite edible." "There's something in carrots," said Mr. Matu, "that is good for your eyesight, amazing and true. I eat them quite often. My vision is great. I can see at this moment that we're running late. So toodaloo, Hitchner, come on, Finn, let's go. We've more places to see where more soup veggies grow." It seemed that no sooner that they'd left the ground, they'd crossed 17 states and were dropping back down in a field of tomatoes all ripe, red, and round. Then meet Farmer Perez. His thumbs are quite green. The tomatoes he grows are the best ever seen. That's delicious, nodded young Finn, as red, ripe tomato juice ran down his chin. Oh, good, super duper, cried Mr. Matu. Superlative, come on, we've lots more to do. Farm to farm, field to field, whiz, whiz, whiz through the sky. From onions so fine they could make a man cry, to potatoes, to bees, peas, in the blink of an eye. They stalked the best celery, they got to know beans, and met growers who know how to grow greener greens. Matu gave a cheer at the end of the day. These farmers deserve a big hip hip hooray. They're all superheroes. They're all super great. They grow the best soup anyone ever ate. But it's time to go home now, said Mr. Matu. You have your answers. My work here is through. And then, just like that, Finn was back in his chair. And that big bowl of soup steaming hot was still there. Guess I'll have to try it, said Phineas Quinn. So he opened his mouth and he spooned some soup in. He swallowed, he sighed, he knew he'd been beaten. That soup was the best thing that he'd ever eaten. Finn said, Hey, how come we've never had this before? His mom, she just laughed. Then she served him some more. So if you are someone who thinks soup is scary, if facing a bowl makes you worried and wary, take some soup in your spoon, put the spoon to your lips, and then say these words right out loud between sips. Who grew my soup? That's what I'd like to know. Who grew my soup? That's where I'd like to go. And a souped-up balloon might drop down from the blue with a friendly old fellow named Mr. Matu, who will take you aboard and then zoom off with you. It might not, but still either way, any day you eat soup is a super good day. The end. So for those of you who would like to stick around, I'm going to briefly jump into the activity. So one thing about this book is that it was underwritten by the Campbell Soup Company in hopes that children of all ages will learn to love and eat their vegetables. So some of the farmers are farmers kind of who work with the Campbell Soup Company, which I thought was really cool. So Grant Hitchner and his family have been growing carrots and other vegetables for the Campbell Soup Company for 3 generations. Then you've got Philip Perez, who has been growing tomatoes for the Campbell Soup Company for more than 40 years. And then Mr. Matu. So if you rearrange the letters in his name, you'll find that they will spell the name of the first soup Campbell's ever made more than 100 years ago. And that is their tomato soup. And then, of course, you've got some information about the writer Tom Darbyshire and the illustrator C.F. Payne. So into our resources and our activity. So this book kind of focuses on nutrition and using my plate, which I have put here below. So kind of going through how half of your plate needs to be fruit and vegetables, and then you need a portion of grains, proteins, and dairy. So just like last time, if you click this link, it will take you to the Ag in the Classroom website, which will take you down, and there are 2 videos, and the author is speaking in both of them. One of them, I believe, is actually a reading of the book. And then you keep going down and you've got your teacher and educator resources. So just like last time, kind of you'll have the layout that goes through the vocabulary words you can go through, a little background before diving into the book, your introduction, reading the book out loud, your lesson, your activity, and everything like that. And this book is geared towards grades level K through 3. But of course, if you do a little digging, you should be able to find some other activities for different age groups. So the activity for this book is so what you'll want to do is you'll take a sheet of paper and you can have the kid do it or you can do it beforehand, and it's just kind of like a cutout hand on a sheet of paper. And on one side, you are going to put the food groups on each finger. So you're going to write out fruits, vegetables, grains, protein, and dairy. And in the middle, you're going to write activity, some fun activity. Let me just double check that for you guys. Exercise daily. And then on the other side of the hand, you're going to actually write and draw something that can go into those food groups. So fruits, you can do your vegetables, and your fruits, you can put your apples and vegetables. You can do like peppers, grains, your pasta, protein, your chicken, dairy, your yogurt, or your milk. And then what you can do is you can even take it a step further and go into specifically New York products. So I've got right here a link that will take you to the New York Farm Bureau page. And if you scroll down, it's got the rankings of New York State products. So all of these are based from the 2017 Ag Census. So here you've got your list of what our national ranking is. Then below you've got New York's top 10 ag products. And then if you keep going down, you've got the value of the products. So what you can do is when you're talking about those fruits, those veggies, grain, dairy, protein, kind of talking about New York's ranking and those New York products and things like that. And so if you're not from New York, so anyone who is watching this, what you can do is you can go to your state's Farm Bureau page, or even if you just simply Google 2017 Ag Census, and you should be able to find the actual layout and just kind of go through and figure out what your state's biggest commodities were for that year or for those few years. So as always, if you have any questions about this book, about the Ag Literacy Program, feel free to contact me. My email address is at the bottom of the slide. And thanks for joining me. I hope to see you guys next week. Bye.